non-performance. Was it too early to talk about non-performance for Maxwell Kunedu, looking at where this has come from?
Too early, yes. That's despite my own opinion about Maxwell Kunedu's job that I've monitored over the years. But I still think that 5 games into the new season, you sack a manager for non-performance, I think is a bit too early. That notwithstanding, it's typical of Kumasi Asante Kotoko. I mean, at the start of every season, you expect one of these kung fu decisions to pop up. You just don't know how they come by some of these decisions. And so that's how I label it.
Now we have a different management, actually.
Well, I mean, but you see, the thing about Kotoko is this. The management, and by extension the board, hype up the expectations of the fans to an extent, to levels where at some point in the season, somebody has got to pay the price. I said it right from the very first day. Nane Akuredi gets appointed. Nane Amponsa, I beg your pardon, gets appointed. And in one of his first remarks or address to the club, he's already promising the CAF Champions League. And I'm sitting there wondering, is he out of touch with reality? When in your first address to the club, you are talking about the CAF Champions League. The minimum the fans are going to expect is 1, very good football, 2, the Premier League title. They may forgive you for not winning the CAF Champions League, but if the football is not good, if you don't win the domestic trophies, they will not forgive you, because you see, you told them you were going to give them sandwich, okay, and then you end up delivering maybe just bread. Take it like that and probably drink water. But I promise sandwich, you're not even able to deliver bread.
Then they
won't forgive you.
But
what is fundamental
can we
is
establish
this.
that there was pressure from fans?
Well, you see,
I know social media, yes, but
you see, there wasn't pressure from fans necessarily. But the management themselves had heightened expectations to a point where if they weren't delivering, and not just a technical team, the team wasn't performing, somebody had to pay the price for the fans to see that, well,
something's happening.
Something is happening, because we promise you there's not happening, and so we are ensuring or making moves to ensure that what we promise you is happening. But the players are right. You can bring Pep Guardiola to Asante Kotoko. It will be the same thing. What has happened is that instead of management taking responsibility and saying that, look, what we promised before the start of the season is unrealistic, somebody's having to pay the price. Because see, 5 games into the season, I'm not a fan of Maxwell Kunedu. I'm not a fan of Maxwell Kunedu by any stretch. But I still think that 5 games into the season, it doesn't make sense at all. Look, Otumfuo met the board and made it clear to them. Build from the scratch.
Yes.
I understand we're not even supposed to sign players from the west of Otumfuo. Build with the players that you had currently. Build a youth side for the team, a strong youth side that will become a feeder to the club. Build the infrastructure of the club. We're all here thinking, well, Asante Kotoko were not going to sign players, and so they were good to go. Suddenly, players are leaving left, right, center, and players are coming in from everywhere that you can find. And this is where the club finds itself. For me, I think the failure is on the part of management, not the technical team. They've only used Maxwell Kunedu as a scapegoat for their own failures.
Mufta, are there any problems in there? Before we look at what you have found out, in the background, why players are not performing, I think it's easy for us to say that, okay, these are quality players. They're supposed to be doing better. Is something impeding their performance? Are they not happy and they are just willingly?
You see, there's one interesting thing.
Don't want to play wittingly.
There's just one interesting thing, that if you bring in so many players at a time, they'll need time to settle.
It's fundamental.
Just yesterday, 12, 1, 2 a.m., when Maxwell was asked to convince them why they shouldn't hand the sack letter to him, he was not able to convince them, because some of the reasons he gave to them they felt were funny, especially the one he said that the players needed time to settle and all that. They thought that with the quality of the players in his possession, they should be able to get them quick and running to provide results for the team. But you would need not to forget that if you look at the Kotoko setup, when they qualify to the next stage of the competition, they are demanding for bonuses. What this management have told them is that we will only pay bonuses when you qualify to the next stage of the competition, that is to the group stages. Then there's a conversation of we've beaten Legon Cities, you are here to give us our winning bonuses. There's a conversation of signing on fees. You say you've scrapped signing on fees, so you're not going to give us signing on fees, but some of us are still owed those signing on fees. But the unfortunate thing is that there's some of the information that are extremely privileged, but if you go into the books of Kumasi Asante Kotoko, it clearly made no sense that they will be signing players from Division 2 and Division 3 sides for 180,000, 200,000 Ghana cedis. One player, for instance, Christopher Neti, they had to cough up $35,000 to pay the money recently because this was a player signed.
And they said they're still not motivated. Are you over pampering these players in Kumasi Asante Kotoko for what? If they're not performing, they're not performing.
It's
or
not
indeed,
over pampering. But the point is that the old guys who are in there have made it clear to management that the new players you've brought in, some of them are taking twice, 3 times our salaries.
not good enough.
That is not good enough. But the clever thing is that these players must also understand that it is your negotiation power. You bring in players who are earning 6,000, 7,000 Ghana cedis. You have old guys in there who are taking 2,500, 3,000 Ghana cedis. And they feel that this is not good enough. So the thinking is that you are taking 7,000, go and play. You are taking 7,000, 8,000, 9,000, go and play. Some have been paid in dollars. And like I mentioned, the bigger issue has to do with monetary thing. That is why they told the management that even if you bring Pep Guardiola, the results you are searching for, you will not get until you make those payments to us.
See, we'll have to round this up very quickly. But Hans, let me come to you. So now it means that rather than look for a new coach, I'll be coming to you on who is likely to get the job. Management will have to look within. There has to be a soul-searching exercise. They have to look at this retrospectively.
But when you consider all of Asante Kotoko's problem and mass,
it's management.
it's always a management
and
issue.
board.
You understand me? Look, first of all, what Mufta is describing is just a wage structure that is problematic because it has to make sense. What is the wage cap at Asante Kotoko? I'm not sure they even have a wage cap. You understand? It's such that no player is earning beyond this and no player is earning below this. You understand? Secondly, for me,
the below they've put the below,
but the above
is the above. I'm not aware.
Secondly, you see the question you're asking.
Yeah.
What is Asante Kotoko's direction? Look, in the short term, in the medium term, in the long term, what do they want to achieve?
They want to win trophies? Do they want to build the team? Do they want to?
I mean,
it's not clear.
I've been look, Asante Kotoko gives me headache.
Mufta will say they want to win everything.
I can't make sense of. Look,
Kotoko is want to win
back to the
everything.
point.
wants to win everything.
You want to win
everything.
But just a moment.
But let me make the point. You see, when Ane Amboza stood on that podium and promised the Champions League,
it's gradual. Maybe it's 3 years or
no,
it's
not 3 years.
It's
If
not the
Kotoko
same
wants to
years.
win the Champions, it's a 10-year project,
Okay.
George. And Mufta knows. It's a 10-year project. First of all, they need to take a look at their recruitment. There is everything wrong about the way Asante Kotoko recruits players. And Mufta knows. There is everything wrong about it.
Why are you referring to me?
Oh, but you know. Look, they sit there and think that they get the best players in this country.
Yeah.
Let no club in the Ghana Premier League deceive themselves. The best players in Ghana don't play in the Ghana Premier League. They don't end up in the Ghana Premier League. That's a truth. And so they need a rethink in terms of how they recruit players.
Right.
Go to the academies. Get the prospect. Get the good players that have ended up in the Ghanaian academies. And they are shipping them out of this country. You see them. There is one at Ajax. He didn't play for a Ghanaian Premier League club. Our best players no longer play in the Ghana Premier League. So
it's something they have to
need
note.
to take a look at their recruitment policy.
Right.
First of all, if they want to win the Champions League.
Right.
And they have won in their round. Look at Mudasiu. How old is he? About 23 years.
24.
Young, very, very good. Give him 4, 5, 6 years of consistency around Asante Kotoko. Surround him with players of a similar age. You are there chasing. I don't even want to mention.
I think
it.
and
you think that you are going to win the Champions
There's more
League.
going to come on there, but Mufta, I want you to quickly touch on the coach's situation as well.
I'll touch there, but I just want him to understand one thing. The conversation that ensued between Manshia and the leadership of Kotoko is that we don't need any local trophy. Our desire is to win the CAF Champions League.
That's what they have to do.
And this one is coming from the wise man himself.
Did they establish timelines?
What they need is trophy
Whenever.
from Africa.
Whenever.
Whenever.
Okay, whenever. You see, Hans, he said, that's what I said. I don't have too much time. So I will cut you short. I want you to go to the likely candidates. We've heard a lot.
Yes.
Do you know the guy already? Who's coming in?
A lot of
Is he flying in or is he?
The interesting thing is that in as much as some people have denied that they already have someone who is already in the country, but others have also hinted that yes, even the players, even some of the players are made to understand that they have a coach already in town who is likely to step in anytime soon.
Do you have an idea of the name?
No,
but the guy is in.
Yeah, but the guy
He's in the country.
He's
But Rich,
yeah. Excuse us.
No, there's like,
Excuse us.
okay, so
but luckily, there are so many coaches
who can do the job.
Who can do the job? I think someone like Ibrahim Tanko would be a perfect man. He has very good relationship with the board. I don't know that of management, but I think that he'll be a great man if they decide to give him an opportunity. When Legon Cities contacted him, Hasselhoff contacted him, as to why all those deals did not go through, that I cannot clearly tell. But what I do know is that he'll be available to do a good job. I was also thinking, crazily, what about a second stint for David Duncan, your friend, Hans?
I think, guys, you know what? We're going to leave that.
fans want it?
We're going to leave that. There are more discussions to come on this.
But what about no Walker?
Hold on.
Please. On the lighter side, the size of his strata alone will solve all the problems.
Well, I have to say thank you to Muftau. Hans will stay with me for a bit. But let me just do this. Tomorrow we've got more discussions coming up. You want to join us on the Sports Review at 7 a.m. We're talking Kotoko in depth, and then also on Sports Link. We're going to be there. Let me just tell you, what is it still 2-1 between Legon Cities and Busan Dwarfs, with Dwarfs leading that game. We'll just get that confirmation for you. We've also got other games coming up. The weekend, Ken Faisal up against Accra Hearts of Oak. Yeah. We've got Elmina Sharks up against Inter Allies. Elmina Sharks up against Allies. That's another one that we're going to be looking for. We've got some special games, and we'll see how it goes. There's Great Olympics up against Wafa, Midyama SC up against Liberty Professionals, and we've got 11 Wonders up against Ashanti Gold. Dreams FC will play as Sante Kotoko, and there's Brickham Chelsea up against Adriana Stars. That will be on Monday. So good stuff. Well, thank you guys for being with us. Hans is here with me because we have to do boxing.
Live on radio, live online. This is the Locker Room with George Addo Jr.
Boxing next on the Locker Room, and Callum Mundo Smith will go toe-to-toe with the great Canelo Alvarez this weekend in the biggest test of his career so far. Unbeaten Smith, who beat John Ryder in his last bout in November 2019, will defend his super middleweight title